libraries in your region. Now, I've been to various EIR talks, and I can tell you that even I leave inspired and empowered, and I don't even have my own business. I'm sure that many of you have gone to numerous business seminars in the past and workshops. You know, the boring but vital subjects such as taxation, cash flow, payroll, financing, etc., blah, blah, blah. But that is not what this evening's about.
It's not?
Don't take it. This is an evening of storytelling. Each speaker you'll hear has a great story to tell. The stumbles and falls, the successes and failures, the courage to take a leap of faith, the future they envisage for their business to grow and prosper. If you're just thinking of starting your own business, of being your own boss, or in the early stages of startup, this evening is for you. You will be inspired. You will leave here excited about being or becoming a small business owner. Now I'd like to introduce our first speaker. Deborah McMillan of Knowledge Makes Sense. Deborah McMillan spent the first half of her career life as a pension plan actuary, working for various global actuarial firms and providing expertise for businesses such as Nestle, United Way, Chrysler, and Energizer, to name but a few. In 2014, Deborah made a bold move to become a full-time entrepreneur. She's now the founder and CEO of Knowledge Makes Sense, a financial literacy academy for kids. Her passion and vision is to ensure that all citizens have the knowledge and skills to achieve personal financial success. Deborah's other passion is philanthropy. Her company provides free financial literacy to homeless youth at 360 Kids, which is just a top up in Crosby there in Young. She also volunteers on several not-for-profit boards and committees. The title of Deborah's talk is Wearing All Hats. Take it away, Deborah.
Thank you so much, Joan. Can you hear me? Yeah. All right. I sort of don't want to stand behind here, but can you hear me without the mic?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right. Thank you so much for coming. Wow, it's a great turnout. So let's start. Say you have a friend, you know someone who is a professional, say a doctor, a lawyer, someone with a specialized profession who you know is making really good money and living a really good lifestyle, you know, traveling around the world, living in a neighborhood. Are you okay? Eating out every single day, not cooking at home. You know, you might know someone like that. But what if that friend said to you one day, you know what, I'm just going to leave that career where I'm making 6 digits, I'm top 1% income bracket, but you know what, I'm just going to walk away and try something new. What would you think? Good question, why? Do you think A, she must be crazy? Or B, maybe it's midlife crisis? Well, that was me. My husband thought, are you crazy with a few swear words in there? But that was me. I was a pension plan actuary for 25 years. Went to University of Waterloo. And I loved my job, had no idea. I thought that was just my life, was actuarial, being an actuary. My daughter goes to private school, we've traveled the world, we go, we go vacation all the time and live in a very fancy neighborhood. But then one day, I had made that decision, a bold decision to say, I'm going to leave my comfortable job and I'm going to become an entrepreneur, all right? And you might ask, why? Why would you do something like that? That sounds crazy. Well, there were a lot of reasons. And at the time in my life, all these reasons were like jigsaw puzzle pieces. I had all these different reasons floating around. And then somehow they all started fitting together. And I'm not going to go through every reason, but maybe I'll just point to, I needed to start pleasing myself. So when I started thinking about it and reflecting, what happened was, my father was an immigrant, and he worked very hard. He owned a convenience store, and if you know any Koreans, it's a very stereotype thing for Koreans is we own convenience stores. So he owned a convenience store, worked from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for 30 years. And he worked so hard, and the one thing he wanted the most, this is the reason why he worked so hard, was he wanted me and my brother to go to university. That was so important for him. And when we graduated, he wanted us to have a corporate career. Go work for a corporation, you'll get a nice pension plan, you'll get a medical benefit, and you'll get a paycheck till you're old and retired, and that's what we want for you, and that's what you're gonna do. So that's what I did. I became an actuary, I was very good at math, became an actuary, and thought that was my life. My father passed away in 2010, and I fell into depression, and I didn't know why. And when I came out of depression, I did a lot of reflection, and I realized I became an actuary to please my father. That was it. You know, it wasn't to please me. So when I did some reflection, and all these other reasons sort of started falling into place, then these light bulb moments started coming. And I thought, you know what, I'm really frustrated. I want to teach my daughter how to be really good with finance, financial literacy, but there was nothing out there. I was frustrated. Then one day in 2013, I said, I can do this. Why can't I do this? And that's what started. And then in September around 2013, I just had this another light bulb moment, and this name, Knowledge Makes Sense, C-E-N-T-S, just came to mind out of nowhere. I thought, wow, that's a really clever name. So I went and registered it. I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I registered it because I didn't want to lose that. And then I started thinking, okay, these are signs, okay? And I started thinking about my life, and I said, I think all the signs are telling me that I need to do something to please me. And so I made a bold decision. It was not an easy decision. If you're right now in the corporate world, and you're trying to think, should I move to the entrepreneurial world? It's not an easy decision. My husband was, he wasn't happy. He said, okay, so you're just going to do this for 2 years and then you're going to go back to work, right? I don't know. So he said, who's going to help me pay the mortgage? And so there's a lot of stress. It's a really, really difficult decision. It took me about 6 months back and forth, making lists, pros and cons, risk analysis in my head. I'm an actuary, right? Oh, what will happen if I do this? And what if I don't do this? A lot of it for 6 months going through my mind, feeling sick because I didn't know what to do. But I made the decision, so in May of 2014, I said goodbye to the corporate world and I became a full-time entrepreneur. And then I launched Knowledge Makes Sense in August, 2 years ago. So I tell you, it was a really, really, really hard decision to make. When you're used to making 6 digits, living a really great lifestyle, having whatever you want, it's there, to going to zero income and not knowing what's going to happen. That's a really scary thought. And I love to read. So I just pick up whatever books there are. I come to the library all the time. I'm here. I love the books that are for sale. I'm there all the time looking for books. So for some reason, at the time that I was trying to decide, I came upon a book about Walt Disney. And it was his life story and how he built his enterprise. And I read it. It's really thick, and I read it. And that, I have to say, that was the moment that made me decide, helped me decide to make the leap. Because he said the whole book was really based on these 4 words. He believed in dreams. You all dream big, because dreams can come true if you really, really believe in them. But you really have to believe in it, okay? But that's still not enough. If you knew Walt Disney's story, the risks he took, how he dared to build his empire, it's amazing. So take that risk, do it, go for it, and then actually do it. So when I read that book, I said, I can do it, I'm going to do it. So for the last 2 years, I've been a solopreneur. I've been wearing all the hats. I've been doing everything on my own, and you might say, you're crazy, you're not going to grow. But I needed to, because I'm building this company from scratch. No one else has done it. I'm building everything from scratch. one brick at a time, and I want to have my hands on it while I'm building it. Eventually, I figure by the end of this year, I will start hiring people and knowing what people are going to do. I have sort of the roles and responsibilities in my head, so I'm going to start passing that off. But for the first couple years, I had to do it all on my own, and I wanted to do it all on my own. I had to learn what was needed up there, how I was going to build it, and things like that. So I've been wearing all the hats. And at the beginning, it was really lonely. I was used to the corporate world, you know, the Monday morning by the water cooler. How was your weekend? Oh, it was great. I did this. I went to a party. I went zip lining. Woo, I was missing all that. I was sitting in my home office. I have dogs. Fine, they curl up by my feet, but oh God, I have no one to talk to. So it was a bit lonely. And also, I found that I didn't know who I was accountable to. Because in the corporate world, you've got shareholders, you've got employers, you're accountable to somebody. You have deadlines that you have to report back to someone. But when you run your own business, hey, so the first year, I have to admit, my husband's a financial planner, and he was going to all these conferences, so I tagged along a lot. So we went to Santa Barbara, West Palm Beach, Montreal. I went to all these, and it felt like a semi-retirement, and then it dawned on me, oh no, I have to run a company, I have to build a company. But anyways, accountability was something I was struggling with by myself. So it doesn't have to be lonely. I use a virtual office service, so they answer all my phone calls, they manage all my mail. But what's good about it is that the gentleman who owns SkyTech is really into networking. And we chat all the time, and if I have a problem, he goes, oh, talk to this guy, talk to that guy, or that lady, or he'll connect me to whoever could help me. So it's been great. I still volunteer. I volunteered before when I was in the corporate world, and I still continue. I can't let it go. I love it too much. So I volunteer on 2 boards and 4 committees, and they're all mixed, not-for-profit, advocacy groups, whatever. So I still volunteer, and I love it because especially on the boards, you're actually running an organization as a board, and I work with great leaders, people with amazing leadership skills. I learn so much from them, and you kind of get the experience of running an organization collectively with other people, and that's a great experience. And getting involved in the community, connecting the community, awesome. Richmond Hill rocks. I mean, if you want to start your own business, there's no better place than Richmond Hill, York region, with a startup between Lucas and March. I mean, what a great community to get involved. So I try to go every Tuesdays to connect in the community. Not to sell, but just I want to be involved and know what's going on with the people around the Richmond Hill. And that's how I got involved with 360 Kids. So part of that was, my vision is that I want everybody, all kids, to learn about money, not just the ones who can afford to take my programs. So I was kind of struggling with that a little bit, and when I met 360 Kids, I thought, perfect, these are homeless youth who actually want to learn how to better their lives. So we've been there all summer, like 3 days, helping the young youth, the homeless youth, and teaching them about money and how to budget and all that. And I've started doing one-on-one sessions with some of the youngsters. So I don't do any financial planning or anything like that. It's basic knowledge. So for example, I met with a young man, and his first question is, what's the difference between saving and investing? That's how basic they want to start. So I provide my services for free. Advisory board. So I see some of my Grow Your Biz sisters here. So there's an organization called Grow Your Biz. It's for female entrepreneurs. We meet once a month. It's awesome because it's like your own board. You talk about your challenges, your victories, and things like that, and you get the support and the brainstorming, and that's where the accountability. I go there once a month, and I'm accountable for what I have to do for my company, and my Grow Your Biz sisters will all sort of, make sure that I do what I say I was going to do. And there's lots of free services. As a small business owner, there's lots of ways to do things for free because startup costs are very expensive. So, for example, HR service, there was a government agency that provided free HR service, and I used it to a full benefit. I said, you know what? For 25 years, I paid top tax bracket, the tax money. I'm going to get something out of it this time from a free government agency. Lots of networking events in Richmond Hill, York region, lots. Like things like this, and so lots of opportunities to get out and meet people, so you don't have to be in your home office all alone, you know, with your computer and nothing else. So if you are right now thinking, I have this great idea, I want to be an entrepreneur, should I leave my corporation, should I jump into this business? These are the 4 things that I would suggest if you had. So if you have an idea that's going to impact or change society. If you want to be an entrepreneur because you want to be the next Facebook and you just want to make billions of dollars, it's probably not going to work. It's got to be an idea that's really going to solve a problem in society that people want. That's the first thing. Second is passion. Whatever your idea is, again, it's not passion for money. It's a passion for your idea that it's really going to make a difference in the world. So it's got to be something that's going to get you up in the morning and you're going to be all gung-ho because you are accountable to yourself. No one's going to push you to say, get up and work in your company. It's going to be you who's going to do that. And vision. I have to say, with Knowledge Makes Sense, when I started thinking of doing it, I could visualize the end result. I want to franchise it. I want to be all around North America. I could see it. I could see my business. I could see all the lines of business I'm going to do. I could see myself running this franchise business and how it's going to work. So visualization, like, can you see it? Can you see what it's going to look like 30, 40, 50 years from now? So if you could see that, and I can see my business very clearly. And then, I'm breaking out stream mode here. Absolutely no doubt that you're going to succeed. I developed a course for the 360 kids, and it's about thinking your way to success. You know, the way you think is so important about the results, and I really believe in it. So when you're an entrepreneur starting your own company, you're going to have lots of failures. There's going to be days, dark days, when you curl up, and I cry, and I sob, and I feel sick to my stomach, and I go, why am I doing this? Should I give up? No. If you have to have no doubt that it's going to succeed. Even though I have those dark days, I still get up the next day and say, this is what I've been meant to do for the rest of my career life. So there's no doubt. If plan A doesn't work, well, there's plan B. If plan B doesn't work, there's plan C. Keep going till it works. Figure it out. But you don't have any doubt that it's going to succeed. Walt Disney never once doubted himself. He knew exactly. He had a vision of exactly what he wanted to build, and he did it. So, I love this. So you have your plan, but this is reality. You're going to have failures. You're going to have sharks coming after you. I don't know, storms. That is so true. In the last 2 years that I've been building this company, 2 years ago I would have told you I was going to have a children's book series, Knowledge Makes Sense book series for kids about money. It was going to be published. I was going to be all across Ontario. I had all these plans. Well, now, I think I'm just starting to climb out of that first pit. There's going to be failures. There are always going to be failures, but what's going to make you different is the fact that you're just going to pick yourself up and say, that's part of my success, is that I'm going to fail, and I'm going to learn from it, and then I'm going to be ready for the next dip, okay, because this is exactly how it's going to feel like. So, in closing, giving up is so easy. Quitting is so easy, but nothing great comes from being easy or something that's easy. So if you really, really want to be an entrepreneur, you're really, really passionate about your business and you want to succeed, it's going to be hard. So you can't give up and you can't quit. So I like this, 97% of people who quit too soon are employed by the 3% who never give up, and I want to be part of the 3%. Okay, and that's my contact. If you want more information, knowledgemakessense.com.